Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to another Adobe Live. I hope that you guys are doing well. We are back for another Photoshop challenge. If you haven't been here the past, what is it? This is the fourth week, right? Yes, so this is the fourth week. And if you haven't been here, if you missed any part of it, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have been doing these Photoshop creative challenges and I've been having such a great time thus far. And I really hope that you guys have too. Let me go ahead and look at the chat, see who all is here. Let's see, I see Val. My girl Val as always. Hey, what's up, Val? I see Franco, I see Robert. Go ahead and drop where you're joining us in the chat from. I am joining from Phoenix, Arizona. And like I was saying before, I have been doing these Photoshop creative challenges now for a couple of weeks. And we are on the final week for at least January, where I have been showing you guys a number of different things. But today we're going to talk about how you can add motion blur and then also bringing back how you can utilize gradient maps into your portraiture. So we're going to go ahead and head over to Photoshop. That way we can get started. So we have this portrait here, and I think Val. Oh, hi, Storm. I just watched some of your stream right before. Hey, Storm. And from London. Oh, my goodness. Christelle, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Val, for dropping the starter file into the chat. I believe it is both on Behance and YouTube. So we have this portrait of my friend Benice that I took. Oop, this is not meant to be there. My bad, y'all. Let me delete that. And I really want... the kind of like look that I have for this is I want it to be like some kind of like sci-fi motion alien superstar type vibe. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So as always, we're going to kind of focus on cleaning up our background, and then we'll talk about how we can utilize motion blur in our photos, add in potentially a gradient map to change up the background a little bit and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I always do is I duplicate my layer. So you can do that by Command J if you are on a Mac, or you can just go ahead and drag your layer down to the plus sign, to duplicate. And I'm gonna start with extending out this background. I want as much space as I can get. So I love to do this when I'm shooting in studio. I believe I shot this with a wide angle lens. Or was it a fisheye lens? It might have been a fisheye lens that I used. So that kind of gives you that really nice distortion that I was going for this photo. And I shot it at a lower angle because I really want it to feel like you were being dragged into your subject. So that is what I'm going to do there. So we've gone ahead and fixed up our background. The first one is fine. I like that I added a little bit of a gradient there. So I'm going to keep that as is. So we've done that. I'm just going to go ahead and click these two layers and merge them because why not? So Gen Fill, I'll say BG for background. And then we're going to go ahead and do I want to duplicate that? Yeah, let's duplicate that. I'm going to select my subject. So it's going to make a perfect selection of my subject. I'm going to invert it. Then I'm going to add in, don't do that for me. Don't do that. Okay, hold on. Select subject, invert. Then I'm going to come over here to my gradient map and see if I can add in a nice gradient. Ooh, I already like that color. Ooh. I don't know. I'm going to fade this a little bit. I don't want it so bright, but I kind of, okay, we're having fun already. We're already having a bit of fun. I didn't mean to bring up this curves layer, so I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to bring this down a bit. I just like a little color in there. That's really nice. Let me know if y'all are feeling the purple, and welcome in everybody. And I feel like I did this last stream. When I do something and catches me off by surprise, I'm like, ooh. So I really like this purplish color. Let's see what we can play around with. Any color screaming out to you guys? Let's see. A green moment. No, I like the purple that was in there. That's really nice. I like how that sits with her skin too. So I'm going to before and after just to kind of change the color. I really want it to feel, let's see. Oh, you had me at purple, girl. Val, you and that purple. I've been getting you with that purple. I know someone else who may like it. Looks great. All right, perfect. So we like how that looks so far. Before I go into the motion blur, I'm going to just do a little bit of selective color, just like I always do, just to kind of focus on my subject's skin tone. I want her to look want to make sure I really like the tone of her skin and the depth of her skin as well. Yeah, I just want to richen her just a wee bit. Okay, so I'm going to add some cyan, just a little bit. Let me see, that's the before and after. Yeah, I like that depth there. Then we're going to come down here. Let's see, what else can we add in here? I don't know if it's going to pick up the yellow in her. Yes, it is, but it's also picking the yellow up in her shirt, which is fine. We're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and edit the yellow / like golden color that's in her top. So as you can see here, while I'm doing this, it's going to impact her skin. I'm going to go ahead and inverse the layer. That way that I can just kind of focus on the top. So right now I'm just focusing on the color of the top here. I want it to be really bright. Okay, cool. So I'm going to Command I to invert. I'm going to grab my paintbrush and I'm just going to paint in. Am I on? Yes, I am on the right color. Make sure you are on white. I'm going to zoom in a wee bit so I can see what I'm doing and you guys can see it too. Perfect. Are we zoomed in? Yes, we are. I'm just going to see if I can. Am I seeing that come up here? Am I tripping? Or am I in the wrong? No, I'm on the right one. Okay. Okay, I can see it a little bit. I might have to duplicate that because I'm not seeing too much of it. So I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, it's very subtle. It is very, very subtle. I might duplicate that layer just to pack that color on top of it. And if you guys have any questions, I am watching the chat. That way I don't miss anything. Okay, cool. So I'm going to come in here and then I'm going to duplicate that. Ooh, that's an ugly yellow. That's a little, it was giving a jump scare. It was a little scary there. Okay, let me duplicate twice. Do I even like that? No, I like the one. I'm going to delete this layer. Let's not overdo it. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to come down to my blacks as well. If y'all are new here, you would know, or you should know, that one of the things I like to do, I'm just going to go ahead and create another layer for the blacks. I love to add color into my blacks. The reason why, again, it just kind of pops when you add a little bit of color into your shadows. Ooh, that already looks really nice. It's kind of helping her blend in a little bit more with the background too. And I will reduce the opacity as well. I always like to let it look really dramatic and then I can pull back as much as I would like to pull back. Ooh, okay, I like that purplish tone in there. Yes, ma'am. OMG. Yeah, she eats. Okay, great. Love that. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to come in here. One of the things I am also going to do, I want to do a little bit of skin editing just for some spots. I don't know about you guys or if anybody else does this. I like to use generative fill to edit skin in my portraits. Does anybody else do that? Because I do it and it literally saves you so much time. So if you don't do that, that's a little bit of a tip. Sometimes it can be a little dramatic, but sometimes it's perfect. And when it is dramatic, I just fade. And that get to kind of make sure I get where I want to be. So I love doing that because I don't got time. And maybe, and no shade to anybody that does, like, she has perfect skin even at that, so I don't have to really do anything, but I want to show you guys an example. No shade to anyone that does the frequency separation, dodging and burning. Please, that was a part of my life too. But I have found that this is really, in some cases it can be a little bit too dramatic, but in a lot of cases it's very, very beautiful. So I love to utilize generative fill where I can, just to kind of smooth out the skin for my subjects. It'll give you different variations. You just pick what you like. And if it's too dramatic, you can just pull back on the fill. And then that's the before and after. Just a little softness there. I really like that. Her forehead, she don't really not even really. She doesn't have anything on her face. So it is very, very minimal texture. And I like to keep texture for the most part. So there's nothing massive Vincent said Gen Fill does help. It does. I just feel like utilize these tools to your advantage. Okay. I love to keep stretch marks, so I'm not gonna remove them, but I'm gonna do this for like just example purposes, so you guys can see what it will look like if I were to remove these stretch marks. Let's see. Then I could come in here. It's a little bit of color and discoloration, which we all naturally have. Again, I'm gonna just show y'all what this looks like. If I wanted this to be like a really like clean portrait, I could do all of that. I'm probably not gonna keep this. I don't want. Oh, that looks very, very fake. We're just gonna fade that a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. And then I see this, like, I think she burned herself is what she told me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that as well. Perfect. Normalize keeping stretch marks. Come on, man. Because the thing is, listen, we don't look like, I don't know what, like, we don't look fake. Okay. So normalize keeping stretch marks. So, let me just show you all that I just did, so you can just see how you can utilize generative fill if you want to edit skin. So that's the before, that's the after. I'm going to zoom out so you can see before and after. Again, I'm going to keep the stretch marks because I'm sorry. Where are they? Is it here? No, is it this one? Yeah, it's that one. I'm going to keep the stretch marks because, you know, normalize stretch marks. So we're going to keep that there. I really like the way that is looking. So now we're going to go ahead and add in the motion blur. So one of the things I love to do, let's see. I don't think this is going to impact anything up here. Actually, I'm going to merge. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to duplicate this, hide it, and then I'm going to merge these layers. And though that's just me merging the skin edit. So that's the before and after of the skin. Now we're going to move into the motion blur. Val, I love it here. Val, we love you here. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a motion blur to my subject. So I'm going to go to filter, blur, motion blur. And oopsies, hold on. Is it because it's going to do it to the background? Hold on. Why did it do that? Let me see. Let's go ahead. Filter, blur, motion blur. It's probably because of the gradient. I feel like that's what that would be. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? We're just going to, again, we're going to copy all of this. Let's copy this. Let's put that in a group and copy it so that way I can utilize it. So I'll say gradient BG, all right, and then I'm gonna bring this up here, merge these two layers there, and oh, what the heck, we might as well merge that. I'm not gonna get rid of that. Okay, cool. So I'll say selective color and gradient background. All right, cool. So that way we can clearly see where we started and where we are now. Now I'm going to go back to filter, blur, motion blur, and then you'll see the motion blur then. Actually, before I wanted to do that, I need to duplicate that and you'll see why. So before you do the motion blur, you want to go ahead and duplicate your background. And I'm going to show you why you'll need that duplication. So I'm going to keep the bottom layer there. I'm going to click on the top one, blur, motion blur, and it's going to add that motion blur there, right? And I can decide how much I want. I can also decide the angle that I want. Ooh, like that. I like that 20% angle. So I'm going to click OK there. Then I'm going to come in here with my eraser tool. I'll keep it on opacity of 100 for now so you guys can see what you can do. You can then come in and like erase where you need to erase. If it's a little too much, you don't want it to erase like that much, you can also do lower the opacity a bit. And we're just going to come in here and focus on her face first. Bring up the opacity just a wee bit. Yeah. I'm feeling it. I don't know if you guys are, but as for me and in my house, we feeling it over here. Okay. Then let me see. Okay, so we got some spacing over here. I don't want to go all the way to her hip. You could also then, on the same layer, if the motion blur is too much, you can fade it a bit too. Yeah, we ate that. Yep. Yeah. Let's see. Why not a mask on a smart object? You know what? That's what I meant to do. I'm sorry. Yes. Please convert it to a smart object and then do the mask. I'm sorry. There's no reason for it. It's just me like skipping steps in my head and not doing things that aren't destructive, but it's okay. For the purpose of this portrait, it's all right. I'm going to bring this opacity up a wee bit. Or do I want it down? How does that look, you guys? Let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, let's do this here. And then if I wanted to, duplicate it, I could. So that way it's just a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna merge these two together. I'm gonna say motion blur. Actually, no, I want to make a copy of this. So group that. This was my motion blur. Perfect. Right. Okay. This was my gen fill. And this was my background. So I'm going to keep those just in case I ever want to go back and fix anything I can. But for the purpose of you guys seeing all of the steps and what I've done so far, I'm going to keep all of this. All right. Lovely. And I made one mistake here, but this is what we're going to do. I'm going to bring this down here. Merge these two. Where's my eyes? Where's the merge layer button? There we go. Hold on, you guys. I just confused myself. Okay. I'm going to keep that as is. Okay, cool. Amazing motion effect. Love the effect, though. I love this so much. BTW. Cool. All right, perfect. So yeah, I love to add that motion effect because it just adds a little bit of like character to your image. So that is another option that you guys have there. This is what I want to do. I'm going to duplicate this and then I'm going to merge these two. What did I do? Okay, I'm just going to keep that as is. I was trying to merge this so you guys can see it, but it was not doing what I wanted to do. So let's go ahead and recap real quickly. So we have our background here. This is the image that you all have, which you guys should have gotten in your starter file that you guys can download and play around with. The first thing that I wanted to do was clean up the background, of course. Naturally on this, you see that there was a natural gradient that happened from the gen fill that I really liked, so I kept that. It didn't need to be the same white, and you can kind of see it mimicked the same kind of bluish effect that's down here on the portrait as well. Then I came in, I added a gradient, and I also did a little bit of selective color, and in that portion, it's right up here, you'll see that I did selective color. I believe I focused on our reds for her skin, yes, and then I also focused on the blacks that went ahead and added a little bit of that purplish color deep in the deep portions of our photo. And then after I did that, we went into the motion blur. So with the motion blur, what you're gonna go ahead and do is you're gonna go to filter. Make sure you clicked on the photo. Filter, blur, motion blur, and then you're going to have the opportunity to play around with the blur. So that is one example of what the blur can look like. Let's do another example so that way we can kind of play around with what this potentially could look like as well. I could go filter, blur, motion blur. Let's do another direction. Or if I just want it to go from the sides, and let's see. You can also determine the distance. I may have not said that in the beginning, but you can also determine the distance of your blur as well. All right, cool. That's that's without the blur, that is with the blur. And then like I mentioned here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a mask, invert the mask. Actually, yeah, add a mask, and then I can come in here and erase. So that's the other thing. I can add the mask and erase the portion of my subject that I want to have visible. The other option that you have here is if you don't want to erase as much, you can also go ahead and increase the opacity when you are trying to reveal what's underneath this layer mask. Let's see. I feel like this would look good with, this would also look great with other saturated colors in the background. You know what? Let's play around with that. Let's see what other colors we can play around with. So for the purpose of that, I'm going to keep this as is. That's the motion blur that we did before. Let's see what other colors we can play around with. You know what? Let's go to back to our gradient up here, and let's just play around with some other color options. Let's see. Okay, that's the center. That's not what I want. I want it to come back here to the purple. I can make this a little lighter. I can change this to like a blue. What are some color selections, suggestions? What would you guys like to see? What's another color? Ooh, I kind of like that yellow. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on. Yeah, I'm feeling that. That's another option there. Let's see. Going back to the original one that we had. Let's see. What else could we do? Let's see. Let's select subject again. Inverse, play around with some other color combinations in the background. I love to do the radial one. There's other options that you also have for your gradient maps. Let's see. I kind of like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and deepen or reduce the opacity and fill there. How does that look, you guys? Yeah. I like that. And then I can merge this. Duplicate the layer again, go to filter, blur, motion blur, add the motion on there, add the layer mask, come in here, erase the part that I want to see of my subject. I'm kind of moving quickly because I know we have like a minute left. Oh my goodness, no. And then if you wanted to turn this into like an actual poster, you can add like, I think Val had mentioned that you can see this like the Vogue with the Vogue graphics. So if I wanted to come up here and type Vogue, I don't think that's the, let's see. Let's go 100. You could also add like the Vogue graphic on there. Yeah, I'm feeling that. That's really beautiful. So I know I felt like I was at the crunch of time right there, you guys. But I really do hope that you guys enjoyed how this came together. I really love the way that the colors played a part, the motion blur, and just get creative with utilizing different blurring effects, right? So you can do motion blur, there's Gaussian blur, just different ways that you can utilize them for your posters, for your portraits. I really did enjoy this Photoshop Creative Challenge. I really do hope that you did. Oh, Vincent said turquoise color. I wasn't looking at the YouTube chat. My bad, Vincent. But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you missed any part of it, please go ahead and rewatch the recap. And you can also watch the other weeks of the Photoshop Creative Challenges that I've done. Stick around. We do have Jacob up next with the Premiere Creative Challenge as well. Until next time, bye.